that is because I do feel connected to everybody else in the world. I do feel that connection. Part of being an activist, I was on the road for 16 years, from 1985 till 2001, hitchhiking with a backpack. I was 40 years old when I started, and I had the opportunity to stay with a great many different people, not only in this country, but in Latin America, where I was building houses, you know. And the people who have the least, of course, are always the most gracious and the most hospitable, because they don't fear you. People who have resources tend to fear strangers. So when I'm standing on the side of a highway like this, I think to myself, who is going to help a stranger? Now, these may not be the kind of people who would be sitting in this room. They would not be. They would be truck drivers, for the most part. And I have no other place in my life where I hang with truckers. I can tell you that right now. But they were the ones who were willing, in most cases, willing to help a stranger. So what does that mean? What does it mean that I'm willing to risk with a stranger and that a stranger is willing to risk with me? And so I was on the road for 16 years, hitchhiking, doing piecework with my backpack. I was living on $3,500 a year, which was really easy for me to come up with. I'd work for a month or 2 months, and I'd come up with my $3,500, and I could get back on the road and get arrested at the Nevada site, or go to the United Nations, or come here, or whatever, mountaintop removal, whatever. Because there's a million places always where your skills and your intelligence and your services are needed. There's a million of them. They just might not pay any money. But when you can be a volunteer, what you don't spend, you don't have to make. You don't have to earn money if you're not spending now. So not spending money for me is this great freedom where I can go anywhere and do anything I want to do, because I don't need to make money once I've done my 3 months here in Gaithersburg, you know, and done my little promotion for charities and made my $15,000. I'm totally styling. I can technically go anywhere in the world. I don't take planes, okay? I've chosen not to do that. So what does that mean? It means I don't go places where I would need to take planes. What does it mean when I choose to be vegetarian? It means I always eat vegetarian food. What does it mean that I don't use computers? It means I use snail mail or I use telephones that belong to someone else. What does it, I mean, I've chosen to make these decisions and to set these limits on what I can do. So I don't have many problems like, oh, what am I going to do? I already know what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do that, and I am going to do this, and I am going to do this, and I am going to do this. So it simplifies your life. That's why it's called simplicity. I mean, I think it has a lot more perhaps to do with this decision-making and options and choices, which we act like this is great, that we have tons of choices. It's not. It's making us all neurotic as hell. You know, they got 2-year-old kids. Do you want to wear this jacket or do you want to wear this jacket? I'm like, put the damn jacket on the kid. Let's go. You know, I don't need all those choices. I don't need those. Okay, I need a very, very simple, non-choice reality, because I want a relaxed reality. I want time. I want my health, and I want time. Those are the 2 things I want, and world peace. Okay, I've got 3 things, but I want. So it's simple. So how do the various things that I use, like this, how do these work for me in terms of examining what I'm looking at, what decision I'm going to make, what effect it's going to have on the world? Because I always think of that. What effect is it going to have on the world, what I do? Because I think I'm important at one level and very humble at another. So how do we maintain this? Because I study native stuff a lot, indigenous peoples, and I'm thinking, okay, how do they have this power to make these decisions and to feel that they're in right alignment, especially through clan systems, which are amazing? These clan systems that says, this is your sacred task. What is your sacred task on the planet? Which is a question I ask myself. And I invite other people to ask themselves, what is your sacred task? What's your special gift? What do you have to offer? And in every step of your life, I'm 64 now. I'm having a terrible time in my community getting old women like me to not be bummed out because they're not getting younger. I'm like, this is the 3rd phase of the triple goddess. You know, we got special tasks. We're elders. We got all this stuff to do. You know, and they're like, oh, no, I can't do that. It's too much work. I don't want more. I don't want more responsibility. You know, and I'm like, I'm so excited about being an elder and about learning what that means and talking to younger people and them saying, Yes, we want to learn how to be elders. We want to learn because we don't have any people to learn from. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited that young people at 25 and 30 and 35 say, we don't want to be 60 like you and crying that we're not 40. Which drives me nuts. I mean, at 40 you get things to do that are 40. And at 60 you get things to do at 60. And at 80 you get things to do that are 80. I mean, you have something important to do in your community and in the world at every single stage of our lives. And recognizing that is a great freedom. It's a great freedom. So what happens when you're thinking about that more than you're thinking about the money that you're making? What happens when you're thinking about that instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I have to have this retirement fund. I have to be this, I have to do this, I have to this, because this is the way we've been taught to think that our talents are worth money. That actually we can be paid per hour for our brilliance and our creativity and our service. And it's bullshit. We are, when I was a mother, and I wasn't making no money, and I said, okay, I'm either worthless or I'm priceless. Now, which one do you think I chose? I said I am priceless, and I'm not making a cent in the formal economy. So I'm not going to get Social Security because I wasn't making a cent in that formal economy for all my years with just kids, 21 years of labor. Got to think about an economic system that works like that. Got to think, do I want to be part of this? Is this fair? What do I think about this? So, anyway, so did everybody have a chance to read this or no? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Okay, so do you just want me, what I'm interested in, really,